People always talk about their favorite superhero couples, but love isn't just for the heroes. Marvel and DC have some great supervillain couples, and I wanted to highlight some of the most prominent ones we've gotten so far. Supervillains rarely get books of their own, so a lot of these couples don't have a lot of character development or even a lot of stories dedicated to their relationship, but they still somehow manage to have an impact on comics. Before I start things off, I wanted to make a few things clear. This only includes the main universe couples. This doesn't include any pairings between a superhero and a supervillain, so pairings such as Roy Harper and Cheshire do not count. I've also kept it to couples that were supervillains at the same time in the comics, so pairings such as Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, which happened only after Harley stopped being a supervillain, do not count. Okay, now that we've established some of the parameters, let's start it off. It's only right to start with arguably the most famous supervillain couple in superhero comics, the Joker and Harley Quinn. Everybody knows their story, how Dr. Harleen Quinzel fell in love with the Joker and decided to become his Harley Quinn, how the Joker proceeded to abuse her and use her as little more than a henchman before she finally broke free and decided to establish her own life. But when they were together, these two terrorized Gotham and worked hand in hand with each other. Their outfits also perfectly complemented each other. Even if it was always toxic and never meant to be, they suddenly left an impact. Marvel also had their own crazy supervillain couple. Carnage managed to find his perfect partner in crime in Shriek. Shriek was as delusional and psychopathic as Carnage, and the two of them went on several killing sprees together. While the dynamic may feel a bit one sided, with Shriek being more devoted towards Carnage than the other way around, Carnage absolutely did care about Shriek in his own way. It's a twisted kind of love between two crazy killers that's never truly worked out, but Shriek is the only one who's ever managed to work with Carnage and come out with her guts intact, so there's definitely something there. It's not the only crazy couple Marvel has. Marvel also has the pairing between Crossbones and Sin, the daughter of the Red Skull. Their relationship started off in the most twisted manner possible. Sin had been reprogrammed to live a normal life away from her father, but Crossbones found her and tortured her until she returned to her usual self. When she finally became herself, she fell in love with Crossbones and they formed a fearsome duo who struck terror into the hearts of everyone they came across. While she continued to work with Crossbones for years to come, it's unclear whether they are still romantically attached or are simply business partners these days. We also have some big romances between cosmic villains. There's the underrated dynamic between Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive of the Black Order from Marvel. Two supervillains who bond with each other by killing people. They have pet names for each other, they have emotional conversations, and support each other when the other is feeling weak or doubtful. There is this moment where Corvus asks Proxima whether she thinks he's funny. She immediately replies no, to which he responds that he possesses a subtle wit that goes unnoticed. Proxima promises that she will take care to notice it in the future, and I always found that oddly sweet. Somehow, these two underpatent mass murderers have a healthy marriage, and I absolutely love that. DC also has a supervillain couple that's pretty similar, maybe a bit older depending on how you look at it. I'm referring to General Zod and his fearsome partner in crime and wife Ursa. Ursa is a unique case where she initially made her debut in the 1978 Superman movie, but only showed up in the comics nearly 30 years later. Zod and Ursa have been together since their time in Krypton, and their bond means the world to both of them. They even have a son named Lord Zod. You can imagine how absolutely terrifying it must be for anybody in the DC universe to face a Kryptonian power couple like them. Unfortunately, their relationship would become strained when Ursa became pregnant with their second child. Zod choosing to banish Lord Zod only made it worse. They had a horrible breakup, and before they could find a chance to get back together, Ursa ended up being killed by alien pirates, devastating Zod. Hopefully, he gets the chance to reunite with his wife in the future if DC ever decides to bring her back from the dead. Now let's get into some of the more unusual couples, and DC oddly has both of them. The first would be the weirdly tragic romance between Monsieur Mullah and the Brain. No, I'm not kidding. This is a romance between a sentient gorilla and a disembodied brain in a jar. This may be one of the weirdest couples in all of comics, but it somehow works. Despite the inherent weirdness, they are such a wholesome couple. They know they are low level villains, but they take pride in it. As long as they are there with each other, that's all they care about. They know they will never get to be together in the way that normal couples do, but they still remain incredibly loyal to each other. Another one of DC's craziest relationships happened between Enchantress and Killer Croc. It's one of those relationships that absolutely doesn't make sense on paper, but somehow works. What could a crocodile man and a human with a demonic witch alternate self have in common? Apparently, a lot. They pushed each other to be their best selves while they were stuck working for the Suicide Squad. They were able to go on dates. June completely accepted who Croc was and didn't care what anyone thought of them as a couple, while Croc encouraged her to pursue her goals and her passion beyond the prison they were stuck in. Their relationship unfortunately didn't last beyond the Rebirth Suicide Squad one, which is a bit of a shame. There are two supervillain couples that I absolutely love. Two long lasting couples fiercely loyal to each other despite what the world throws at them. The first one is Mystique and Destiny from the X Men. Their star-crossed romance has managed to survive everything they've faced. Even death couldn't keep them apart. Mystique and Destiny are famously untrustworthy, but they've always remained loyal to each other. They've done what they needed to do to survive, but they always find their way back to each other. For a long time, their relationship was kept ambiguous, but the Krakoa era of X Men brought back Destiny from the dead, and since then, they have been a force to be reckoned with. Make no mistake, they are both absolutely horrible people, and they know it. They're so incredibly messy together and aren't exactly good parents to Rogue or Nightcrawler, but as long as they're together, they don't care what the world thinks about them, and that's what makes them so compelling to read about. My final pick is my favorite supervillain couple of all time. Hell, they are one of my favorite comic couples, period. And the couple is none other than the Absorbing Man and Titania. I never thought a supervillain couple could be so adorable until I read their stories. They are one of the healthiest, long lasting couples in all of Marvel. They are so flawed but so deeply protective of each other. They first met during the original Secret Wars event and almost immediately fell in love with each other. They even tried to have a kid, but it sadly didn't happen. My first encounter with this couple was this random story from a 90s Marvel Valentine's special. Creel tries to get a special doll for Titania for Valentine's Day, but runs into trouble, which causes the doll to be destroyed. Titania joins him and they fight off the cops together. Creel tries to explain what he was trying to do, but she kisses him and thanks him for giving her the perfect gift by fighting off the cops together. I've been a fan of them since then. I absolutely hate it when Marvel tries to make Creel into a misogynist or a creep. It's so obvious when he's written by someone who has no idea what Creel is supposed to be. Carl and Mary are kindred souls. It's kind of insane that they've been together for so long. I think they've been shown as a couple since the 90s. I guess being C-list villains means that most writers don't care to do anything big with them, but it's still really cool that they've stuck around for so long. I absolutely love their dynamic. This may be a random recommendation, but if you want to check out what makes them so great, check out the 2017 Blackboard series by Saladin Ahmed and Christian Ward. I think you'll end up feeling the same as me. And that about wraps this up. I'm sure there are more supervillain couples out there, but I wanted to highlight some of the most prominent and consistent relationships we've gotten from Marvel and DC. These characters don't get a lot of the spotlight, but they certainly do shine when they do. I know it won't ever happen, but I'll be the first person to buy an Absorbing Man and Titania series if Marvel ever decides to do it. More people deserve to know how great they are.